drüben noch irgendwas? Hier irgendwie. Miss Pavlova's cabin. This could be our chance. What? The burly sailor doesn't appear to be around at the moment. Yeah, okay. Do it looking around more. Oh, guck mal, wer da ist. Okay, den haben wir natürlich. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look. Wow, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he thinks to himself. Tra-la-la, lira-lira-lay, I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me? I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight? He moves so man. Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climatic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is a good time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous white hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 AM this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman of Stan's sentry in this first-class passageway. And he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes it in every 30 minutes. Nothing to report. Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. The ship's log has been entered into the court record. A record kept by the crew assigned to the first-class cabin area. There are virtually no entries from 2 AM until early this morning. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you are starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes? Brilliance. Ah, Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Well, my friends. Oh, vom strangled head this morning. Also hat er auch Kopfschmerzen. Hat er das gesagt? Okay. Die haben alle Kopfschmerzen. Was war das hier? Chips. Zum ersten noch. Nothing to report. Okay. Und wann wurde er nochmal getötet? Between 1 AM and a little past 2 AM. Okay. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. Okay, die mysteriösen Kopfschmerzen. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too. Okay. Können wir jetzt hier noch irgendwas machen? Ark! What's that? Werden wir angegriffen oder was? Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile force. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile 4. Full stop. Hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact. Werden wir angegriffen? What the? I think we are about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. Whoa! Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruto-san. Okay, what happened? It looks like we avoided a collision. Okay, wir wurden nicht angegriffen, aber wir hätten fast ein anderes gecrashed. Okay, alles klar. I think... yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Hosonaga. Is that you in there, Naruto-san? Unbolt the door, quickly. What? The bolt. Look at that. The door's bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san? No, I didn't touch it. Okay, also durch den Full Stop ist die... Okay. Okay. Heißt das, dass der Täter vielleicht reingekommen ist und dann das Schiff ausgebremst hat und somit es so aussehen hat lassen, dass die Tür abgeschlossen war und dass niemand rein konnte? Könnte das sein? Ich glaube, ich denke da ein bisschen zu weit vielleicht, aber es könnte das vielleicht sein. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at the books. Oh! Das könnte tatsächlich sein. They are just like they were before again. Like where they were before again. Naruto-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? Oh mein Gott. I'd better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my head. To be continued. Okay. Save your current progress. Yes. So. Okay. Das war ein relativ kurzes Kapitel. 9th January, SS Burya, Miss Pavlova's cabin. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Susato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You! What are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Zwei Kontraste in einem Bild. Yes, we are fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos, passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does it mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black! You are the devil! Warte, was war das? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Okay, okay. Sorry? Me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first. You opened my traveling case. How could you? What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. Is it not enough that he has killed a man? Da! And he is stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right, you are devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There's cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Rosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is Russian vessel. It's a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Okay. Okay, wir können nicht weg. I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Don't touch my things! You want me to show you where Quawfish hibernates? Hiya! Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me, and I was just starting to think she was my friend. So schnell können Freunde zu Feinden werden. Isn't there anyone who can help me out of this mess? Ja, moin. Oh Mann. Wer könnte uns bloß helfen? What the... What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes. Er hat das Diadem auf. Ich mag den Charakter. Oh man. Naturally, I was analyzing what the weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do or not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh no no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To probably assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited looking hook on the wall, so full of whack and bounce. Ah, I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again, the great detective. Ah, Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Beria, has been solved. By me, naturally. Okay. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Okay. Ha! You have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all know who was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. It is the stowaway, and he has handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means the culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Duh! Locked room! That is point! The room was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door. It's not the so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there's another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why? It gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. The ventilator. Gahahaha! You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening. It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. Ah, ich liebe Herlock einfach schon. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 AM, I can hear a faint whistling noise, or a sound. 1:35 AM, what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. Mr. Sholmes? What are you doing? There's a distinct element of danger, but fear not. I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! Ah! What the? Ich wusste es. Ich wusste es. Ich wusste es. Es eine Schlange ist. Ich war mir ziemlich sicher, dass das Speckled Band eine Schlange ist. Damn. Allow me to introduce you all to this band. The Speckled Band. A snake? Indubitably. Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the Striped Band, wouldn't you? Hehehe. You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explained the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one. Last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah! And number two. That same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He hits the nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Azogi? Entschuldigung. It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The great deduction. The game is afoot. Let's go! Topic 1. Intruder's identity. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was a friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing, to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. Ist das der abgeschupperte Skin? Der abgestumperte Haut? Abgelöst, genau. Evidently, after the subtle and horrible crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin. No? I don't know what you are talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the serpent silently descended into the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to the young gentleman who was about to lose his life as a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a rare breed of snake, whose markings change each time it sloughs its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. Wie wird's ausgesprochen eigentlich?
Sloughed.
Sloughed, okay. Conclusion: a beloved speckled snake. Topic 2. How Mr. Azuzogi died. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? Alter, das ist so cool gemacht, immer diese ganzen Effekte hier und da. Das kennt man vom richtigen Ace Attorney so gar nicht, deswegen ist das so nice. According to the data of which I have been apprised, it would appear there were no visible signs of injury. Ah! In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be... Yes, an examination of the deceased's body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestige of the snakebite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There's no point feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Ja, macht Sinn mit dem Pfeifen, ne? Indiana Jones lässt grüßen. Indeed, you'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared not to have been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true! Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bell cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Holmes also died. Conclusion: death by a venomous snake bite. Aber das macht ja keinen Sinn. Im Postmortem Report steht, dass irgendwie geschlagen wurde. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the speckled band.